Greetings! We are now live. Probably scared the crap out of a couple people because I know a few of you were here waiting. Boo! Ha! Behind you! No, but yeah, we're going to be just doing some chill streaming with the 2.4 Summoner. We're actually going full Zoomancer on this one, in case you guys are wondering. Just to show them off a little bit. And yes, this is in 2.4. I actually closed it from doing updates. The actual software does not connect to Battle.net now. It's like, it may be dead on the servers, but I have the 2.4 local copy and I can play that. So I made sure I could still play that. It went through like several steps. So yes, this is the 2.4 version. It's updated. It's not that there's major changes or anything like that to them. It's just a difference. So let's go ahead and get ourselves a couple little dudes. I have reset my map recently just because I had to go to Nightmare to hire the mercenary, because there is currently a bug with Gomule and 2.4 where if you hire an Act 2 mercenary in 2.4, it just like disconnects your Gomule. So yeah, I have to switch over to 2.3 to actually get that up. It's not a big issue, it's just there. I'll see about getting a fix for it whenever the actual 2.4 launches, like officially. So let's see. Go ahead and get our army up. And yes, we are going to be using mages today because I do need this for some background footage for a video that I've recorded the audio for. I just haven't recorded the video for it. I do have a couple bits of footage for it I could use, but figured I should do some farming on stream and just show it off a little bit. Because I think a lot of people have major misunderstandings about the mages and stuff like that. Mostly because I don't think they know how they work. And also, yes, fanaticism does impact them. How's it going, Jim, by the way? Welcome to the stream. And no, I'm not going to be doing a lot of fishy answering. I'm going for chill play in this one. And also showing off the mages in particular. So we are technically, this is technically a fishy mancer with a focus on the skeleton mages. Normally for a fishy mancer you wouldn't really put any points into them. You'd actually bump up your golem mastery and maybe go for some kind of like bone armor with bone wall and stuff like that. We could have gone bone armor on this. If we get a level up while streaming, I'll probably put a point in it. It's not that urgent. It's not a big deal. A lot of people like freaking out about it, and I find it kind of funny just to leave it off. Just because of that, but yeah. Hey, Atos. How's it going? I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your name. Because Ajtos does not seem right. But you never know. So, yeah, I do keep things sorted. And no, there's going to be a lot of rare items. If I get a lot of rare items, I'm not going to be identifying them. I'm saving up for other videos. Hi, Mocha. Hi, Richard. And yeah, we're just going to be going, we might go through the game a few times, maybe just once, but we're doing just the Zoomancer because I need some footage to show off the mages, and we have an okay loadout here. A little bit too many ice mages, but not terrible. I can live with it. We're not going to need to resummon stuff a lot. Yeah, Summoner is a ton of fun. Oh, because you can't be asked to transfer them source. Understandable. That's one reason why I love Gomule. Sorry, I'm going to kick something over to the side underneath the desk. There we go. But yeah, that's one reason why I really like Gomule, is it's not really a big issue to transfer the stuff over. But yeah, we're just going to go through. We're going to do the bosses. We're going to do a handful of areas. If you want to see a specific area, mention it, and I will try to go there. Unless it's Maggot Lair, in which case it's just me teleporting through with Enigma. If I didn't have Enigma, I'd do it with a teleport staff because we've been there before. But it is possible to get through it without it. It just takes a while. Let's see. The undocumented change in PTR, finding the potion giving plus 1% chance to find item per level, that doesn't bother me. I mean, I wouldn't mind a little bit higher chance to it. I would actually like to see it get up to like about 80 to 90% chance of success if you maxed out both of them. I think it gets up to like, what, into the 70s, maybe the low 80s? And hi, RP. Yeah, sorry for not being super consistent on streaming. I had to do some streaming for Lost Ark, which we do over on Twitch because it's not Diablo 2. What offhand am I using? Actually, we're using Bone Flame. I have a better head for this, but I wanted something accessible. And by accessible, I mean something you could actually go out and say, hey, I want to trade for this. Whereas rare ones with exactly what you want are not exactly something you can go with. 78%. Yeah, I don't know the percents off the top of my head. As far as gameplay goes, barbarians are the bottom of my list. So I can play them competently, but if you're looking for like top end guides, I do not know who to direct you to because I don't know any YouTube creators who main barbarian. There is a space there. If you want to create videos, a barbarian main person would be an interesting thing to see. Dobrunsky and Llama are both sorceress with a little bit of paladin for Dobrunsky, and generally I would say druid for Llama, but even then not really. But yeah, Cooley's more of a sorceress person as far as like where their like skill sets lie. That's because most people go for sorceress. I'm a necro main. I am the weirdo, I guess. But yeah, it's fine. But yeah, if we want to see just how much damage the... Oh, we have a unique mob there. That may not be the one to show this off on. But yeah, cows... Yeah, we'll just go ahead and murder them. It's fine. We'll do this the easy way. See, this is why Zoomancer is strong, but it's fine. Would a Faith Bow Mercenary be great for this? Generally, I prefer not to. I'd much rather have the... Here, let's go ahead and doop, like that. Regroup everybody. But I would much rather have the Might Mercenary with a Infinity than having a Faith Bow. The most important aura for the Zoomancer is actually the Conviction aura, with Might probably being second and then Fanaticism being third. Assassin hybrid only so you don't carry keys. Assassin is one of my preferred classes. I would probably say that Necromancer, Assassin, and Amazon would be my top three. Paladin is definitely up there, though. It's like Barbarian's just the only one I don't play a lot of. But we did lose a mage there. But let's go ahead and pop up a replacement real quick. But if we teleport around, like after we get rid of these boss mobs, unfortunately that's a downside of Hell difficulty cows. You have a lot of boss mobs. But if we come ahead and start teleporting, the actual Magi can actually do some okay damage if we just kind of like slow teleport away from these guys. You can see that whatever leading cow is going to get smacked by... Oh, we've got a boss in there as well, I think. But no, you can see that it doesn't go down super quickly, but it does go down a lot faster than people would have you believe from just the mages. And yes, no, the stream is not stuttering. I am literally just teleporting like a centimeter each time, just to keep my regular guys from going after them. But you can see that they can take stuff down. It's not exactly super fast, but it's not like I'm spending an hour here waiting for it. It's a matter of positioning and getting your stuff actually in combat and having the right auras for it. So, yeah, let's go ahead and let them just do it all by themselves. You can see, boom, just normal cows. Not super fast, but a little bit slower than a zealot, which, yes, is not super fast, but it's not something that is completely garbage tier or anything, so you can see it actually does damage. But yeah, it's one of those things that's just kind of like, personally don't like footage showing builds against cows with Infinity. Most of the time, if you have Infinity, there's not much point in farming cows, maybe for bases. Cows are for bases and runes. There's another reason to farm them, but that's more of a niche thing that most people won't do. But yeah, mostly it's going to be for bases and runes, farming the cows. Best places to farm is still probably Chaos Sanctuary. And mages are okay there. They're not amazing. But this was more an issue of people are misunderstanding how these work. For example, you'd think that Fanaticism doesn't work on the mages. It does. So, but these mages, the way it works is, yes, it's a magic attack. Yes, it will always hit. Yes, it'll do all this other stuff. But Fanaticism increases their attack speed. So instead of, say, 33 frames, which is like the base cycle for them to attack, that's 15 frame cooldown, and then I believe an 18 frame attack animation. With Fanaticism, you can actually drop them down to like, about 13 frames, give or take. So, but it also depends on what build you're running as to where you want to farm for runes. because certain builds can handle this kind of stuff a lot faster. Like, I'm intentionally kind of gimping myself right here by keeping it just to the mages, but if I wanted to go full fishy, just go ahead and drop amp, corpse explosion, everything dies. It's not really hard to do. Yep, they go by attack speed. The actual mages do. They have the AI 15 frame like restraint. Like, you'll notice that even the skeleton warriors and stuff like that, they'll stand around for about half a second, a little bit over, and just not do anything after they finish an attack. So you can see that it just does nothing for that little bit of time, and then they attack. By reducing the amount of time it takes to do the actual normal attack, you can actually do a decent amount more damage over time. And right now our guys are just kind of chilling, so I'm going to help them out a little bit there. Let's see, Colossus, are you? Nope, you're garbage. But I will be picking up various bases for future patches and stuff like that, so you will see weird stuff getting picked up. But let's go ahead and grab that. Ethereal Resistance 44, yeah, I'll keep it. But there's two like minions that don't really, I mean, yeah, the Magi do actually need brain fart, conviction, to actually cause more damage, but generally speaking, the ones that need conviction the most are your actual regular skeletons, because of the defense reduction. Without conviction, they'd actually be doing a lot less damage, so you'd get that first kill a lot slower, and you'd be able to do Fishymancer a lot slower. You can also do very aggressive Fishymancer and teleport onto things. I'm not going to do that today because I'm doing lazy mode. And it's really a pain in the ass whenever you're trying to chat and do that, as opposed to just kind of like doing stuff. One thing I actually wish they would do, and this Balrog skin here actually reminded me of that, I wish they would actually make armor weight specific rune words, if that makes sense to you, everybody. Like certain rune words that only work in heavy or medium armor. That would be an interesting little way to kind of control the strength of things. And while I would wager that they'd probably keep Enigma for all armors, I do wish that they would make that distinction, but it would require modifying the code a bit. So it's just one of those things. I enjoy messing with it. Yeah, if you want to see this in any particular area, otherwise we're just going to be going through and messing with stuff. Things that I am definitely going to be picking up are staves and orbs and class-specific items. Because I would not be surprised if one of these latter seasons, not the first one, definitely not the first one, I wouldn't be surprised if one of these latter seasons, if we get a class-specific season, where it's just one of each class-specific item gets a rune word or something. So, and yeah, this is just chill. So, yippee-ki-yay. But as far as like killing bosses and stuff like that, you generally just go in and just nuke them by teleporting onto them. So bosses and the maggot lair are the only areas that I'll probably end up actually using teleport with. And we do have more level 85 areas, so we might go through a few more of those. Though the old ones are still the most efficient to farm, unfortunately, because of enemy density. And in an upcoming video, I'll actually have what I think about like how they could fix the skeleton mages to actually make them more useful. There's kind of like two options that I'm looking at as far as what is reasonable. And no, I don't consider changing them to archers reasonable. That destroys their whole theme. So, of course, I recommend destroying the theme of Grim Ward, which is terror. So, yeah, I guess it's a thing. I personally, as far as Grim Ward goes, I think they should restrict the range of the terror. I am fine for leaving it in there, though. But they do 100% need to separate the amp damage and stuff. Well, it technically is amp damage. The damage boost and stuff from the unfortunate reality that is, right now, it's paired with the terror. So anything that can't be terrored can't be damage boosted. So, yeah, you're just basically boned in that regard. And yes, I am just chilling, just going through, not going like super teleport happy or anything. Do I think the ladder's going to start soon? I don't know. The way they keep saying like conflicting things, so I'm not entirely sure. I personally, if I was them, I would wait until March. Personally, that's my personal thought on it. Wait until March, maybe April to start it. Let people wear out on Lost Ark because that is definitely a window. Do you think we're going to be able to test ladder in the PTR this week? They might test some of the code for it. I don't think they're going to actually release the proper ladder. I think they're going to just be on there. Hi, Toby, by the way. How's it going? And yes, I do try to say people's names if they say hi. I need a key. Unless it's an obscene name, in which case, tough shit. You're not getting an announcement if you're having me curse people out or call them slang. But yeah, other than that, it's fine. But it's just one of those things where it's like, actually, I should probably pick that up. Look forward to the PTR so you can try the Nova Source. Hopefully they'll bring the like custom characters back. They might not bring them back. And why did I put that over there? That needs to go over here. I do keep this relatively organized. This is stuff that doesn't need ID. This is stuff that needs ID. And I'm kind of sad we didn't get any rings in there. Do I think they'll change something before patch release? I'm hoping they fix Grim Ward, because it currently doesn't actually get its synergy. And hi, Rajar. Let's go ahead and grab that. I never said I would pronounce it correctly. I try. Can't promise it. Oh. Grimward, I think it would actually be kind of neat if they introduced a corpse explosion mechanic to it. I'm not entirely sure they would. I'm trying to think of like how else they could work with it, because right now it does need to apply to the various... Oh, we should probably just do Stonyfield to show, hey, Stonyfield, it's there. And generally speaking, going through Stonyfield, the mages just murder. They really just do. It's just craziness. Okay, so you guys need to just get destroyed. But you can see they just pretty much just focus in on one thing because they're all on top of me, so they just focus fire. There you go. And this is just general, like, just chilling strategy. Just go through and drop all that. I need that horn helm. But yeah, you can murder pretty much anything. What's my opinion on the Rabies Druid so far? Feeling they need to change some stuff, more damage, or lower the duration like the Plague Javelin. They definitely need to work on Rabies. I don't think we're going to see it on this patch. We might see it in 2.5. I think this patch, if I was going to label the patches, this one, quality of life patch. The very 2.3 was definitely a quality of life one as well. But unpronounceable. Rajar. Rajar. There we go. Rager. Your name is just Rager now. Let's see. And I don't know when they're going to start the ladder. But I don't think they're going to change anything too major. I think the changes they announced for 2.4 are the changes they're going to be focusing on. I don't think they're going to introduce a new major change like the Grim Ward change. I don't think they're going to do something like that. I don't think they're going to add new synergies to the stuff that they've already kind of messed around with. I think they're going to fine-tune what they have, and then 2.5 is going to be a further adjustment. I would like to see 2.5 be kind of like the overhaul patch to overall unloved stuff. Skeleton mages, I would like to see that overhauled. I'd like to see some tweaking done on Grim Ward and possibly even Find Potion. There could be some work on Warcry still, because that still needs some help. I kind of agree with the opinion of making the radius increase with levels on that. Let's go for Catacombs, why not? We could do Tower too if we wanted to. I'm going to try not to skip too much because I need rares. But I will just generally go around the outside path. Murder them! But yeah, I agree with the idea of giving Warcry an increased radius as you gain levels in it. Make it to about the size of Nova would be fine. It's mostly because for the Barbarian, yes, he has cast speed of the Sorceress, but his mana situation is terrible. Guess they aren't going to fix the mana burn bug. I wish they would. That has been on my list for so long. I mentioned it before D2R even released. So they don't pay attention to my channel, in case you guys are wondering. I am like off of their radar. So I don't have any kind of like, I don't even have remote sway on it. So they just do what they do, and that is that. I wouldn't be opposed to revealing rune words, but I'd rather just reveal them all at once on the day of the release of the announcement of the patch. That way everyone has a chance on it. Larger radius and less annoying animation sound. Yeah. It's kind of hard to do with that kind of stuff, because what annoys one person may not annoy another person and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of listening to the all the time. I do kind of go like brain dead to it. Like I'll stop noticing it after a while, but it is, if I haven't played it for a long time, it does get annoying. Karen Ring used to work as synergy for rabies at some point. That was it's a Marowak bug. That was a bug back in, I'm trying to remember what patch that was. It got patched out really quick because there were a lot of Necros using it as well. But basically what happened is you had charges of something and it would act as a synergy. So you'd end up having these weird like overpowered skills just by equipping something that had level 20 something or whatever charges. But as far as, let's go ahead and go up this way, I guess. And yes, I am just putzing around. I am trying to think of different things that I would change mechanics-wise, because I do think that core mechanics are a point of balancing that are being somewhat ignored. They tried it with a few things and got like a bunch of backfiring. It wasn't even like backlash. It was literally a backfire of their change, where they, like the druid attack speed change was a backfire. It wasn't a backlash. So they changed it and didn't realize that it would modify the mechanics in a certain way. So what I would like to see... Oh, that's where we want to be. Sweet. Let's go ahead and just let them murder some things in here while we chat. But I would like to see mechanics changes to actually fix some of the stuff. Mana burn bug is a mechanics change. Kind of a shame they don't pay attention to the channel. Well, I'm small, and I don't stream on Twitch, and I think Twitch performance is more important to Blizzard as a whole. That might just be like their executive direction. That might be just who's in charge of PR. But if you're not on Twitch, you're not going to get noticed. That's just the unfortunate reality of how it is, and that's at least how it seems from my perspective. So, why does no one carry around keys? Even MF videos have people not opening super chests that are locked. If I'm doing chest runs, I'll take keys. If I'm just putzing around, I usually don't. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Generally speaking, though, if you're doing chest runs, you're not running any magic find. You're literally just going speed to each location. Because you'll have it on players 8. You won't be bothering to really kill too much. You'll just be landing on chests, popping them, and running. So, and there's a lot of places to do that. Arcane Sanctuary, which we can go through, is one of them that's actually kind of good for that. I think a lot of people forget, and I just weapon swapped on accident. Or did I? There we go. But yeah, Arcane Sanctuary is one of them that a lot of people forget about, because it has a lot of interesting things. And, ooh, she is murdering stuff. Hi. There you go. I wasn't paying attention. It cost me a couple skeletons. It's fine. Boop and boop. That's what I get for not paying attention. Hey, Nolan, how's it going? But it's worth noting that magic finding, you aren't actually... Oh, that's just Nash's, in case anyone's wondering. I'm trying to remember what sets got modifications. So I'm just picking up some of the 2.4 sets as I go through. Not really necessary, but I don't trust it to actually retroactively fix the sets. So we'll go ahead and grab you. I'll get healing. Nope, I don't even need any potions. Sweet. But yeah, if I was doing chest runs, I'd do that. And if we're going to run through there, I will grab some. But usually I'll just replace one of these. Magic Find doesn't work on them, so it doesn't really matter too much there. I'll pop that one out and get some keys. Since we're doing Arcane Sanctuary, I guess. What am I farming today? Everywhere. That's... Generally, if you... A lot of people don't realize this. My method of farming is not optimal. I know how to optimal farm. I know how to just grind out certain things. I know how to do the 100 runs of this, 1,000 runs of that kind of stuff super quickly. I can set up a build specifically for it. But what's fun to me is having a build that can go anywhere in the game. This is one of those builds. If I wanted to farm... I'm trying to think what stupid thing I could farm. Like the random dungeons in Act 3 Forest. If I wanted to farm those. Like, let's go to Flayer Jungle. If I wanted to farm the little, like, random forest dungeons here, I could do that with this build. Whereas if I was with the wrong build, I would just go in there and just immediately die. So, looks like... There it is. Like, if we wanted to do Swampy Pit, which is actually a really easy one to get to if you guys are looking for just random places to farm, this is a really easy one to do. You could come down here and do this one, and this character can handle this just fine. I don't have to worry about anything. I do worry about the fact that there's hardly any enemies in here, comparatively. But beyond that, it's not a tough place to get to or do. So, see? Whereas if I was on a different character, there would be problems down here. You can go back and forth between target farming and just farming randomly. Well, for what I do nowadays... And no, I'm not picking that up. It's a Peasant Crown. But for what I do nowadays, I don't really farm for uniques or sets or anything like that. Yep, this is level 85 now. Which is a nice thing because of how close it is to that waypoint. It spawns with the Flayer Jungle waypoint. So you go there. Sometimes it's north of it, sometimes it's south of it, but that's pretty much the only difference. The only thing you worry about are dolls. Not sure if they swarm and spawn deep. They do. They 100% do spawn down here. That's one of the reasons why I kind of chose this place. Because I think we had actually some down here. I know I heard them explode. Yeah, we have some of their corpses right there. Like there's a doll corpse right there. But... it is one of those. Gotta love the fact Necro sacrifices an insight for the golem, have that aura, then his merc on top of his army wants the beast. This actual build works out pretty good. The reason we're using beast, by the way, is because it makes all of our stuff actually... It saves about 1/3 of a second per attack cycle. I should not have teleported there. I have another insight, but yeah. That was my own damn fault. I was looking over there reading the chat, and I heard the clatter, and I shouldn't have teleported. Thankfully, it's relatively easy to do. Yep. Fanaticism dolls, best thing to teleport on top of. It's fine, though. Trust me, I have plenty of spares. The only downside is I actually have to minimize the game. It's okay. Trust me, I have like a few dozen insights from solo self-found runs that I just kind of like load up in there. And yes, you're going to see, oh no, we're transferring items via Go Mule because I have to close the game. It's fine. That character's like 92. I don't care about leveling him up any further either. It's just kind of like my horse around character. Oh, I forgot. I have an Act 2 mercenary. This is what I'm talking about with Go Mule. You can't see it right now, but with Go Mule, the Act 2 mercenaries bug it out. After you've revived them or anything. So we'll go on to you and just transfer it that way. I'm going to use one of my really garbage ones since I'm going to be distracted today. So where is my polearms? Insight. Let's just do the halberd one. Bonk. Should be a nice area for Hydra orb source. Yeah, you can scout with the Hydras with that. That's actually a strategy in there. Does it matter if you sacrifice Eth or non-Eth for the Golem? Appearance-wise, it does. But for the most part, he is one of those that It's just the aura is the main reason you're using it. It does influence his, like, if you're using an Insight Ethereal Thresher, his attack will do more damage than an ethereal, than a non-ethereal Thresher. But the number of times he actually hits with his attack is like nil. So it's just one of those putsy little things that doesn't really matter. Swampy Pit is a fun location for hardcore glomes and dolls. Yes. Necromancer usually doesn't have problems there. I was just being derpy. Okay, so we'll just transfer that over to him. But the Iron Golem is literally just an aura carrier for me. I don't need him for the build. We just change our belt loadout whenever I swap him. So it's just one of those things. Loading in. Ta-da, there's our body. And yes, we lose XP for that. We lost about a bar. It's not a big deal. But we actually have the item to transfer in here. I don't know why I have a cleaver, but sure, we'll keep it. No, that's an exceptional. Why am I remembering that as something else? And yes, we did lose some potions to that because we had that in our belt, but we'll fill them back up soon enough. So Iron Golem, wonk, there he is. But yeah, if you summon an ethereal one, he's ethereal as well. So it's fine. Let's go ahead and go back to Act 1 and get ourselves some minions real quick. Just because it'll be a little bit safer there than popping through there. Normally, if you're fairly quick on the stuff, you don't have to worry about those little dudes. It's just don't get distracted while you're doing that area. Generally speaking, whenever I'm trying to do this while like listening to a podcast, I'll farm kind of the same areas. I'll do like Chaos Sanctuary. I'll usually skip Act 3 in general with it. But that's just because I don't like gnomes and I don't like dolls. And let's go ahead and get some normal skeletons just to fill out our numbers so we can kill these guys a little faster. Yes, normal skeletons are significantly faster than other skeletons. Kind of curious on my opinion on bots. Recently had a video suggestion about a new Pindle Neolithic bot that was shared on GitHub using Python coding. My personal opinion is bots are a net negative for the community. I see the need for them, and they do help out like casual players a lot more than people would like to admit, but they also incentivize real money trading, which I am actually against, because that just makes it a pay-to-win game. But as far as me, they don't impact me much. I'm not a big fan of trading. Like, bots can exist and I won't ever have to deal with them. So, hi, Gorgeous George. How's it going? You found a +2 Shadow Dancer from your traps in from Thresh Socket. Cool. But now you need one more 243 to get rid of the Hodo Spirit meta. Yeah. Hodo Spirit is just reliable on a lot of builds. But yeah, I don't bot. I don't really encounter people who do bot regularly. It's not my sphere. And I guarantee you, there are a lot of people botting. There were people botting day one. That I can actually guarantee you, just judging by the emails I've gotten. So, this is single player, yes. I do play online. I play single player as well. This is single player because I can't play 2.4 online. You also want lobbies and console is one of the big requests. So, at least for me. Because I know that the console players are getting shafted hard on a lot of things. But yeah, this is single player. I play multiplayer whenever on the actual live releases and stuff like that. This is beta. This is 2.4 PTR. You can't play it online right now because they've discontinued it. So let's see. Oh yeah, I was going to show off Arcane Sanctuary. We bought keys for this for Darren's sake. So for here, generally I'm not too eager to go just kind of like putzing around too much, but we can actually murder these guys relatively easily. Yay! Now we're traveling to the new domain. Gotta go get in time for bed. Netherlands. Well, have a good night. And may you find all the items you're looking for. For me, I am looking for rares for identification videos. So I do keep like unique rings and stuff like that. If we find unique rings while streaming, I usually identify them. It's usually the off-stream stuff that I show off with that. Alpha of D2R got cracked mainly as a platform for testing bots. Yep. And there are a lot of people who are actively developing and renovating bots. They are probably tracking them, but the reality is they don't have like real incentive to stop them. Yeah, they don't get a cut of the money, but... And yes, I am intentionally keeping my guys here. Just see, hey, guess what? They're murdering those things. Let's go ahead and just teleport over here. There we go. But yeah, I'm collecting rares to just do identification videos as well, just for fun. Yeah, as far as single player, I will only do hardcore in single player. That's for sure. I don't like the whole, like, let's just kind of worry about lag as the real enemy. You can see, yeah, they are murdering stuff relatively reliably.
I can't.
Well, what do I have in there? Oh, I am full in there. Okay, we'll toss those off. Yeah, there's been bots since day one, and that's the reason why I say from my emails I know that there's bots. I've kind of been ignoring them. I haven't responded to them because that's bad form in my opinion. It's just like, if they want to offer it, that's on them. I'm not going to name call. I'm not going to bring them out by name or berate them or anything like that. But there are companies that have approached me, and I'm sure they're offering me the lowball number for advertising their sales, because I know that they've approached every bigger Diablo 2 YouTuber, and they were offering me $1,500 a month to put advertisements for them at the beginning of my videos. There were offers that were higher, there were offers that were lower. The lowest was like $500, the highest was way higher, but it's not worth sacrificing my channel or my ethics to accept that. If they want to do it, and it's not going to impact me if they want to do that with their resources, but I'm not going to pursue that as part of my plan or my scheme or theme or anything like that. The downside is runes could be just my bad luck, but you haven't gotten a single high rune. Have your Fury Druid up and running, but single player is a grind. Yeah, single player grinding for runes is a pain. Lower Cuirass is pretty much your best bet. Imagine Charcy or someone making lunch. Oh, you know who would actually make lunch? It is Neelathak. He's the only one that's like necromancy. Everyone else is afraid of me. How am I playing 2.4? I blocked the... Okay, I downloaded 2.4 whenever it was just distributed by Blizzard, and then right before, whenever they announced that they were shutting it down, I set 2.4 to refuse updates, and I had it block firewall. Like, my firewall literally blocks 2.4 from accessing things, so it's kind of like, it can't say, I don't work anymore, because it doesn't know. It's just like, oh, you don't have internet. You're thinking the Act 5 fat guy? Oh, yeah, he'd know how to cook, too. But everyone's, like, afraid of the Necromancer. Oh, a thing of evil. Oh, yeah, we were doing... I keep getting distracted. You're incredibly lucky in the last days in single-player Pluggy. Found 4 Sur Runes, Cross Griffins on your list, and load today. There's actually a person on the Discord looking for help with Pluggy. I don't have a lot of experience with Pluggy, so if anyone wants to help him, that would be awesome. I'm a Go Mule person through and through. I've never really needed torches or annies, and as soon as this dropped, I actually just immediately just farmed out a bunch of them because I had a ton of keys and just did it. And sold some SOJs because I had a few extra. I don't have a ton of them, but I have enough extra that I could. And I just transfer them between my characters. It's an army of gremlins. Oh no! I'm not even using curses right now. I'm just kind of like putzing around. But my channel comes before any kind of like shady sponsorship. So if you do see like a sponsorship on my channel, it's either something that has interested me or something that I use. I wouldn't be terribly opposed to like advertising other games either. It's just, yeah. If I find out a game is a scam, I definitely wouldn't actually promote it. I have thought about doing a whole like parody of, what was it, Raid Shadow Legends or whatever the hell it was. But yeah. The Merc is using Infinity. Let's see. Pluggy was also nice for Pindle Skin Teleport not closing. Yeah. Well, see, I just did the tried and true method. Don't ever get the waypoint down in there. If I wanted to farm Neelathak, I would just teleport down there because the maps are fixed in single player anyway. So I could just teleport straight to the stairs. Manscaped. If I ever do a face reveal, you'll realize why. Manscaped could possibly sponsor me, and I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, it's an awesome product from what I hear. A little bit odd, but I hear people like it. But I have a beard. It is not trimmed down. If you ever do Twitch or anything like that, my beard is a little bit shorter than Sean from Sydney. So, yeah. Raid is terrible, but get your money. I doubt they'd actually offer me money for that, because, yeah. So far, all of the sponsorships that have come my way have been scams or people trying to take over my channel, which has happened a few times, or things that I can't morally get behind. The Pride on your Summoner Merc is sometimes very annoying because of his ice shattering variant. The only time I use Pride is if I'm attacking, like Commander and stuff like that. Sometimes I have memed it up with a really crappy Pride that I got and used Pride as the Iron Golem one time when I was doing the Zealot Necro. And of course, the time that we don't want that is the time that we get this. Oh, of course, I do need the symbol. What symbol is it? It is Circle Smile. So I'll go get Circle Smile. I forget where it is, but we'll grab it. Yeah, this is Circle Smile. I'll go ahead and just mark it on the map because I'm not going to like explore the side areas on here. Let's go ahead and murder all them. But yeah, if I actually play active with this build, it's a lot faster than this. It's just can't be arsed. Face reveal all the way. Where do you donate for it to happen? Originally, like, this was many years ago. The idea was to do it at 10,000, but that was like, if we reach 10,000 by the end of the year type deal, we'd do it. But we did not reach 10,000 by the end of the year. We reached 10,000 several years later. So, but no. I'm not really big on face reveals because I actually, and after the face reveal mention, I actually had people stalking me onto Facebook. So it kind of made me uncomfortable. If you actually want to interact with a creator, just be active in their social areas that they make public. Be active on their Discords and stuff like that. And you'll get to know each other. Don't just randomly add them on Facebook. So, but yeah, ever since that, I was just kind of like, name the price. More than you can afford for a face reveal right now. Because I still have my COVID hair going. Because, yeah, after losing the job, it was one of those things like, why should I be like risking my life just to trim my hair and stuff like that? So, I am Yeti. Think Cousin It. Although not quite as dirty or anything looking. That's why Glock 19 is so cheap. Weird people, yes. The filter did catch that one. I was just reading it out loud. If a mod comes in, they can actually reveal it. But we'll see. Corpse explosions, go! Yay. I do like the auto gold pickup. That's probably one of the things that I was not anticipating being nearly as convenient as it is. And if you're fighting a bunch of just ghosts by themselves, it's actually a good idea to do lower resist instead of amp, because you'll actually get more damage out of it. Risking life. I'm not going to risk my life, but... I play hardcore as well, Drag and Drop. It's okay. I mean, we have hardcore playthroughs on the channel and on the Let's Play channel. So, and yes, a currencies tab would be lovely. Good morning. I should be able to pronounce your name. I'm not going to risk it right now. I'm learning Japanese. I'm not confident in my Japanese. So, I'm sorry. This is the only one. Is this one only points at mages? It's max mages. We actually have max of all three of these. One of the suggestions I'm going to have is actually having the synergies. There's actually stream delay. There is about... Here, I'm going to go and tell you exactly how much stream delay. There's 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6, 1,000, 7, 1,000, 8, 1,000, 9, 1,000, 10, 1,000. There we go. There's about an 8 to 10 second delay. And I can ban you just right now if you really want me to. It's not a problem. It would allow me to actually show the other person's stuff. I hate to be rude about it, but there's 60 some odd people here who are being cool about it. But anyway. Let's go ahead and just drop that, and time for nukes. Yeah, they buffed mages a little bit. They didn't buff them enough. I don't think we're going to see an outright buff to them in the long run, but yeah. The mages are decent. They're not great. They're not awesome critters. They're utility still. They're not maximum damage unless you really gear for them. And no, lower resist is not gearing for them. So let's go ahead and drop these out. And we are not losing, guys. That's fine. And I keep forgetting to pick up full rejuves. Oh, goodness. Mages are still bad next patch. I would say they're not good. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're bad. This is kind of like the whole overpowered or not discussion as well, though. Did I test Assassin on PTR? Yes, we tested a few builds. I have a couple that I have kind of like planned out, so to say. But, boop, let's go ahead and grab you. I have a few planned out that I might want to show off, but it's a matter of writing them up and actually planning. From Chicago? Hey, yeah, Corpse Explosion is very powerful. How's it going, Lisa? Let's go ahead and amp damage you, and if I want to be smart, I'll just teleport onto him and just murder him. That's one thing that is worth noting. I am sad about this is the only thing that got nerfed. Thorns. It got nerfed for the Necromancer specifically and nobody else. It's better for everybody else than it was. It's just not as good for the Necro. What if mages auto-cast Decrepify or a useful curse? Would that be made? I wouldn't go quite that far with the mages. My recommendation for mages is work with synergies for them. As it stands, they're okay. If they gave them a damage boost, they would actually become good. If they didn't give them a damage boost, they would actually still kind of suck. So, yeah. Trying to think of how to nicely respond to that. But basically... If something can go through on players 8 easily, it's not balanced properly, in my opinion. Things like the previous version of the Dragon Paladin, which we brand Trogdor as. Things like... Actually, the Javazon is not one of them. She's overpowered in certain areas, but I think if things can go through Players 8, which is designed for 8 people, without even, like, breaking a sweat, even in high-end gear, it's overpowered. So... Who's the biggest winner and the biggest loser from the patch? Oh, you play Traps in Death Century is your total favorite thing ever. Hear all the mobs blow up. It's so satisfying. Yes, corpse explosions are always fun. Let's see. Biggest winner and biggest loser. I would say probably the biggest winner is going to be the assassin. And I think the biggest loser... I don't think there really was a biggest loser. All of them are about the same as they were at worst. But synergy mages with lower resist would fit a mage build. Yeah, if they do it with lower resist, I would recommend them doing a resist piercing of like minus 1% per point. If they did it with lower resist, summon resists, I would actually probably recommend giving them like a 3% buff in damage. And I would rather see the damage buff than the resistance pierce. Simply because I can pierce resistance with lower resist already. And it does give incentive to mix and match your army. Whereas if you give them natural pierce, it gives less incentive to mix and match your army. So, you re-rolled your dual camp map accidentally clicking on Nightmare. Is there any way preventing that from happening? Not really, Ivan. I'm sorry. If you click the wrong thing, it's going to hurt. I've done that a few times myself. Problem with the idea of mages casting Decrepify is they would override other curses. Kind of the same problem with Act 5 Merc and PTR and Battlecry. Battlecry is special. I wouldn't use it on a Necromancer, period. But the Act 5 Mercenary will be really good for solo self-found runs on the other classes. On Necromancer, no. Druid cast delay reduction was pretty good. Yeah, that is definitely one of the bigger winners. I still think the Assassin got the biggest winner because of the little change to Phoenix and the interrupts and stuff like that. It's now a lot smoother. And I think with the Phoenix Strike change specifically, you're going to see a lot more martial arts assassins as well. Why the assassin is the biggest winner? Martial arts tree got a huge buff. The Blade Fury builds are now solo self-found viable. And yeah, the only thing that got kind of left out was the Trap Assassin. She was still not bad though. She's got some improvements in some areas and worse in others. So that's one of those things. Yeah, left 2/3 of martial arts was not dead, but not really good before the PTR. And now it's all her trees are now viable. They are all useful trees. Oh, there is a hotkey for it. I did not actually realize there was a hotkey for the difficulties. I just click on it. So it's R for normal, N for nightmare, H for hell. I'll have to test that out. That seems like a cool thing to kind of try out. Learn something new every day. When is ladder on the Switch? Probably whenever it officially launches. Like, I don't think you'll see ladder tests on Switch. I think you'll see it whenever it officially launches, though. But yeah, Act 5 cutscene is amazing. I'm not sure what my favorite cutscene is. I really actually liked the Diablo 1 cutscenes. So, like, especially the introduction one was very atmospheric. And I should have actually bumped this up to Players 8 before doing these, but if you bump these up to Players 8, they actually can... And fun mechanic thing here. What I should have done is killed all these, done Players 8, opened them, then set it back to Players 1. Because chests don't... Like this chest right here, we haven't popped that. So if we put it at Players 8, it should drop a bit more. You can see it dropped more items. They're still garbage, but because that's not one of the super chests. But you have this, and this are super chests, just like the ones you find in Lower Kurast, but they're lower level, so they can't drop the same stuff. They drop in a similar manner, though. And that's one thing a lot of people forget about. Let's check. Is that... no use for that. I could do a Malice in there for like a low-level character or something, but not going to bother. Although, now that I think about it, I should probably be picking up 3 and 4 socket ones of various things. Let's get on top of these guys. Get rid of the bosses and stuff like that. And you can see these things are just... They're ripping through stuff relatively reliably. Just with what we have. What are your thoughts on bone mages casting bone-based magic instead of their current ones? That would be kind of like the change to making them archers. While I'm not objectively opposed to it, it feels more of like it removes their theme, if that makes sense. That's not worth keeping. But yeah, it feels like it removes their theme. So that's one thing I try to avoid in my suggestions is the function of removing the theme of a skill. Because it was designed that way to be thematic to the character. Hotkeys seem to be working again. Sweet! Let's go ahead and grab that. Issue you have with mages, even improved, they get in the way of the melee too often. Yeah, I wouldn't mind them making it so they can pass through each other. That's not something that is destructive to the theme. That's kind of like a secondary concern, though. Like, they would just probably do that across the board. It would also keep people from PvE from accidentally killing each other by standing in doorways. Let's see. But then you'd also have the issue with magic immunes and stuff like that again. Speaking of magic immunes, I do have a suggestion for Bone Spirit, but I haven't seen anyone mention it yet. So I'm going to just probably reveal it whenever I do a 2.5 recommendation video. For me, I would generally lead towards keeping them multi-elemental and just giving them a damage bump. What I would actually like to see is either have summon resist benefit their magic damage, or have a synergy system kind of like the druid where they buff each other. Doesn't seem like the bone necro buffs changed anything in P8. There is literally barely any reason to be in Players 8. Just putting that one out there. The only reason is experience and EPing. And I don't think characters should be able to just solo Players 8 without breaking a sweat. I think it's a hoax. I legitimately think it's a hoax. If it's not, awesome. If it is, chances are it is. Let's go ahead and get over here. There we go. That's a much better spot for us. So we'll murder all of these, and then we'll Players 8 all these. Okay. I'm going to drop these over here so I don't accidentally keep doing that. So, if we do Players 8. Boop. You can see a little bit more stuff is dropping. In that case, a lot more stuff. Actually got 3 things we need out of that. Because I can upgrade that light belt to exceptional. For a non-controversial change, they should let shapeshifting druids use teleport. I wouldn't mind that. That'd be fine. At least add the cut content from the game files for guild halls, maybe. Honestly, I think guild halls would be a really good solution to the inventory problem. In my opinion, because then they'd actually be able to establish a new storage container for the guild hall so that it wouldn't be as restricted like the character storage or the shared stash. They could actually make a larger one that doesn't cause the overflow that deletes items. Devs comment, we're freeing up synergy reliance on Death Sentry to give more build possibilities elsewhere. DS is the core of a trap build. No one's going to skip it anyway. Why remove the synergy? I think it's mostly because they want people saying, okay, I can get 20 Death Sentry, and it won't bump lightning or fire, so I could pair it with something else. I'm not entirely in agreement with it. I would rather have seen synergies dropped off of Death Sentry, so you could just do Death Sentry as its own thing, and then focusing on what you want to support it. If that makes sense. So make it a standalone skill. Kind of like trying to think of a good standalone skill. Of course, I'm on a character that doesn't have standalone skills. I mean, Corpse Explosion is a standalone skill, but yeah. But yeah. I'd like to see my approach, like my opinion, is they should be balancing around a 60-40 philosophy. You should invest 60 points in your main skill and 40 in a support skill. And there should be skills that fit each thing. Obviously, certain things like a pure Zoomancer, like what we're running here, you're going to invest a bit more than that because you're going to be doing like Golem Mastery, 60 here, and then a bunch into the other stuff. But we still have points left over because we don't need a secondary for that. It is its own secondary. So it's a thing. We have like one path left. And I need to put it on players 1. Summoner can do players 8. It's just meh. You still need Lightning Sentry to buff Death Sentry damage. Yes and no. I think the way they approached it was wrong, but you don't need to make Death Sentry do damage itself, because the only thing that's getting buffed by... That has a very weird smell. The only thing getting buffed by using Lightning Sentry with it is the lightning damage. Yeah, Death Sentry already gets buffs with Fire Blast, so make Sentry a 1-point wonder to allow more points in Fire Traps or even Blade options. Yeah, I use the Fire Blast bump, but yeah. I don't think Death Sentry needs any synergies other than maybe the Fire Blast one. As far as like just general use, if you're going to be using it with like say a Kicksin or something like that, you don't need the lightning damage. Dagger Strike Dragon Talon might use Lawbringer, which is Rest in Peace mod. Some assassin builds can use Phoenix, so Redemption will remove corpses. So no Death Sentry can help there. Yeah, there's a lot of different builds for the assassin that became viable. So I wouldn't like really dismiss them entirely. Ah, that's garbage. Focus on the Ghoul Lord. And there we go. I think we're on players 1. Yeah, we did switch over to players 1. I think I spawned a few enemies with players 8. Like right here. I think we are... There we go. Got him. What is my favorite magic find run? I don't really do a lot of magic find anymore. I do item finding. So generally I will do... If I'm going specifically for like rares and uniques and stuff like that, Chaos Sanctuary. Because that's going to give me decent rune drops from the... Oh, what are they called? The Finger Mages. It's going to give me decent unique and stuff like that from the normal spawns. It's going to give me a champion drop from each of the seals. Champion drops being a little bit lower level. Does CE gain levels with radius? Yes. The levels give Corpse Explosion a boost to radius. And the fire radius and the physical radius, every other level, they don't match. They advance at a... They have a different formula. Wow. But yeah, they change their radius, and every now and then, the fire radius is going to be about, like... I'm trying to think how, like, half a yard or something like that, different from the physical one. It's very weird. But yeah, Assassins definitely, I think, got the biggest improvements. They were the winners of the patch. I don't think they're broken or anything like remotely close to that. I just think they gained the most from it. I think people are still going to start out with sorceresses, then move into Hammerdins for their farming and selling stuff. I think that people are going to still ignore barbarians unless they're doing gold find. They're still going to ignore druids, period. Sadly. But, yeah. It's just one of those things. So let's go ahead, and I will take these out, and we'll players 8 this as well. Just to show off the chests again. And they did. Players 8. And yes, I know I can do it through the menu. And we can pick up that key as well. Like, I don't mind just swapping out what I have in my inventory. We are not really beholden to it. I can carry, like, 10 stacks of keys if I really want to. Going to play a Summoner Druid further in the ladder. I'm still not happy with where the Summoner Druid is, but, I mean, it can beat hell. Not easily, but it can. It's like, not really pretty. Okay, so this is the one that has junk. This is rares. And I'll just throw that on the ground. Death Sentry has a longer range when it comes to CE than Lightning Bolt, so optimally the Corpse Explosion, you would cast it behind your back. Just wish you could summon all the wolves and bears at the same time. Yeah, I wish you could too. That would actually make the changes make more sense. Felt like Bone Skills could do physical damage, so amp damage will increase their damage in PVM, while with 50% DR in PvP would cause you to do less damage. Actually, depends on who you're facing in PvP. In PvP, you do 17% of your damage, roughly. Necro has curses in CE. Summoner Druid has nothing. Yeah. Make one of the vines do CE. That would just totally change the theme. But I think having variety there would be a nice thing. Isn't even super complicated. Summon all animals and do more damage. Bam, fixed. And honestly, I think even with all the animals, I don't think the Druid would be overpowered. I think he would be stronger. I think he would be about on par with the Necromancer Summoner, but I don't think he'd be overpowered. Oh, goodness. So, are we going to get murdered here? Probably not. I saw you die. Oh, they saw me too. Did we not? Oh, we left it on players 8. No, we're on players 8 with these guys. Okay. I mean, it's not going to change anything, but they spawned on players 8, so it's going to take us a little bit longer to kill some things. So I have to actually pay attention here. So Stamina Shrine, let's go ahead and teleport on you. And this is players 8. This is a players 8 Torque Ice Fist. So I'm actually having to concentrate a little bit, because they'll actually do enough damage to be a threat. This is one of those situations where I would want bone armor. Okay, so get him down first. And I actually probably should... Yeah, see, he's getting healed pretty regularly. Let's go ahead and teleport onto you. Teleport onto you. Teleport onto you. I'll read chat in just a minute, because we spawned these guys on players 8. Hey, a Lem rune. Cute. Okay. You have an undead crown. What are you willing to trade for it? Nothing, sadly. It's an okay starter thing for mercenaries for their mana leech. I mean, not mana leech, life leech. Brain fart there. Skellies die here without CE. Not really. If you telestomp onto stuff, it actually does a decent amount of damage. These are players 8 council members, for those of you that are wondering. Let's go ahead and get up there. Ooh, mana burn. Lovely. Let's just go ahead and amp damage them. And who are they actually fighting? Doesn't seem like they're actually fighting anybody. There they go. Got him. Let's move out of the way there so they don't just die from that. But yeah, you can actually kill these things on players 8 relatively easy with the Necromancer. It's just a matter of, I don't want to be in there without my bone armor, because I wasn't anticipating actually fighting in players 8 level. Anyway, you're hunting the Arm of King Learch. That's a fairly decent summoner wand. You definitely want a teleport staff or something with it. Otherwise, you are going to regret life. But we went through that without CE. So that's fine. I'm trying to think, what else? Oh, Durance of Hate level 2. I have not scouted this. So I'm actually going to do cheese ball mode here. Because I'm fairly positive we have little skellies. Yep, we do. Okay, teleporting around. That's where we want to be, right there. But I'm not going to risk getting aced by them here, because they will just murder my face. Just having a hell of a time looking for the runes. Yeah, well, you can get a teleport staff, and it'll be fine. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I have an Enigma on this character, but whenever we do solo self-found, I actually do go in and just use a teleport staff on swap. Yeah, we lose a couple skeletons, but it's not a big deal. Okay, so teleport back, get them to come into me. Hi, guy. Okay, so these are players 1-1s. And see, they go down relatively quick compared to the ones we fought before. So, yeah, it just murders them pretty quickly. I need to pick up these for reasons. Let's see. Those Stygian dolls have ruined many hardcore dream. Yes, they have. Do you have a written guide for this build or a similar summoner? Just looking again to D2, and I'm looking for a solid summoner. Probably the most reliable one for me is the Lazy Bones. We actually have several summoner guides. Lazy Bones is Poison Nova main with summoner support. There is the Zoomancer, which is what this one is. There's the Commander, which is a melee version of this that goes in and tanks their face and punches them like that. There's also, I don't have a video on it, but there is also the Trangul summoner. There's a few others, but various things. But yeah, there's 3 that are similar to this. I prefer the Lazy Bones, and it's in the Necromancer list. This one is just one that I needed to record, so I still have it set on it. Right now, you're running with a Gold Dagger looking for items. Gold Dagger is a fairly solid starter thing for getting uniques and stuff going. I usually just start several characters. Like, if I had to start over from scratch in single player, I would just start a bunch of characters, run them through with, like, Gold Daggers and stuff like that on players 8 in normal difficulty. Get that set up, go to Nightmare, do the same, etc., etc. You're welcome, Nick. Do I have a suggestion for someone just getting into Diablo 2? Probably the best starter classes are going to be, especially with 2.4 dropping. Assassin's going to be really good. It's going to be even better for starter classes, and I usually recommend the Assassin to begin with. But now there's more choices with the Assassin. Paladin's another good starter class. I would not start with Necromancer because there's a lot of weird interlinking systems. Let me allow that comment real quick since we're just sitting here talking about it. Show, says me. Hey, Christopher, how's it going? How do I feel about Lost Ark? It's a MOBA MMO. That's how I feel about it. It feels like a MOBA MMO. Because the combat feels a lot more MOBA-ish than Diablo-ish. But I like it so far. I don't see myself grinding to the end game on it. You'd love to players 8 on Battle.net, so you cannot do that. Yeah, you can't do that on Battle.net. And all of them are Corpse Explosion Necros. Corpse Explosion makes things go faster. That is a given. You don't have to use Corpse Explosion. Usually if I'm being lazy, I don't. Like right now, I'm barely even using curses. You can see he goes down quick. It's just one of those things. Let's see. This should be, yeah, that's a minion of something. There, he died. Let's just double check if there's anything over here. Pop that chest. That's another super chest. We should have players 8, but it's fine. Yeah, nothing really interesting in here. Go ahead and pop that. Nothing good. But yeah, I would not recommend a new player starting with Barbarian. If you're going melee, go Paladin for your starter because it's going to be a lot tankier. You have the assassin for kind of like you're flexible. It can do whichever thing you want. You can change it on the fly to be melee or range now. And then you have the for caster. Necro's the safest, but I would say Sorceress probably is your starter caster if you're getting new to the game. You're going to die a lot as a Sorceress, though, your first time through. But let's see. Has 2.4 patch happened yet? No. Sorry, I missed that message earlier. But yeah, Corpse Explosion just makes things go faster. It's not necessary for the build. Hey, Spartan, how's it going? And so far, so good. We've had a good hour and 15 minutes of just chill, not really finding anything of value, but having fun with it nonetheless. We died once. It's fine. I can understand why people would want to go for the Barbarian. I can't in good conscience recommend it, is my thing. But Barbarian, you will be grinding in Nightmare and Dariel a lot to begin with. Generally, I find myself grinding Bale a lot with the Barbarians. They can go through hell just punching things, but it's generally whenever you see a Barbarian going through smoothly, it's because it's someone who knows the game already. We're talking, just picked it up going, huh, this looks like a cool game, let's play. I don't usually go Barbarian. Have a good one, Toby. Good night. So, River of Flame. Reminds me, actually, I need to get my other skeleton up as well. Just noticed he was dead. So let's just go ahead and amp damage these. We'll get another Magi up. Just get them running. I don't even know what elements we have as far as our mages go. Mage! Yeah, we're fine with the elements. But Barbarian is very equipment driven, unfortunately. It's kind of weird that your Frenzy Barb has higher damage with double Gimmer Shreds than double Baranar Star, Baranar plus Lightsaber. That's because the elemental damage. And yeah. What is a MOBA? Oh, I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's like League of Legends, Defense of the Ancients, stuff like that. You can see our guys they're slowly working their way through. For Barbarian starting out, I would actually probably lean into a Frenzy Warcry hybrid. If I was going to like make a starter build for it, Frenzy Warcry. Multiplayer online battle arena. There you go. Thanks, Ivan. So it's close but not similar. So it's close to but not similar. The combat feels different. In MOBAs, it's a lot more about positioning. And yes, positioning is a thing here as well. But it's more of like, I'm clicking here, so I'm damaging here. In MOBAs, it's more, I'm throwing you in the air, knocking you back, then using a skill that makes me jump forward and take advantage of you being on the ground to slam you in the face. So it's definitely a lot more repositioning slash... and a lot more hotkeys as well. But a lot less left click, right click, and more which way you're facing kind of thing. And these are minions. Yeah, they can murder them. Boop. So let's just teleport across there because we can't be arsed. Oblivion Night down. I love teleporting onto stuff. But yeah, I think so far going through the story, I haven't really felt the urge to like spend any money or anything on that game, on Lost Ark. Less building, developing a specific character, more PvP, fast-paced stuff. Diablo is an action RPG. There is some, if I remember correctly, Lost Ark is like PvP is an afterthought, but in MOBA form. But you actually can reposition a lot of enemies. There's stagger in it and all that kind of stuff. trying to think what action RPG would actually be closest to, because frankly, there really isn't one that is super close to it. I still think that as far as the current like popular things, Last Epoch is still the go-to for Diablo's successor. But yeah, that's just my place on it. And no, I'm not picking up that superior mage plate. Yes, it can turn into good things, but at the same time, it also costs superior cost to repair. Yeah. It would be like if League released an actual action RPG. Like if, I'm trying to remember the name of the company. My brain has completely farted on who. They make a bunch of other games based around that same universe. Arena? Not Arena. ArenaNet is something else entirely. ArenaNet is Guild Wars. But yeah. You haven't even played a game with single barb. Save for one friend who was new to Diablo when D2R dropped. He quit because he wasn't having fun with the boring barb. Generally speaking, that's another reason why I recommend the Paladin for melee. Barbarian can be a ton of fun if built properly and you have the right equipment. Or if that is just your playstyle. If they fixed Whirlwind, it would be a lot of fun. Nox was PvP oriented. Nox was a story-driven action RPG with a PvP action RPG glued to the side of it like a interesting, like, Siamese twin thing. In my opinion. I love Nox. I never really got super hard into the PvP for it, but I did play it a little bit. I loved the story of it because you could actually go through in 3 different paths, one for each class. Talk show or a radio show? Thank you, Roger. If I could get a radio job, I would. If someone offered me a radio job for minimum wage right now, I would probably take it. I would be fine with that. But I'm not sure that would just come out of the blue. But that's just a thing. That would be enough with my channel and a minimum wage job. It would be enough to, survive. But I would need something that isn't quite destroying me and putting me in danger of catching that there Akuvod. You don't necessarily... I like the idea of Path of Exile. If you have the resources, Barb is fun. If not, have fun trying to do... I wouldn't say have fun trying to do anything. There are builds that you can do poor on a Barbarian. It's just a matter of knowing what you're doing. And it would come out of the blue. I actually, for a bit of a clarification purpose, I've applied for a pseudo radio job. It was basically a company radio job. Turns out I wasn't eligible for it because I had called in 4 times in the past year. That's right. I missed 4 days of work in a year and got disqualified from it. So I didn't even get a chance to kind of compete for it. Otherwise, I might have still had a job. But you enjoyed Grim Dawn, have roughly 2 hours in it, but stopped. Grim Dawn is pretty good. I like Grim Dawn. Path of Exile, I like the idea of, but it has too much bloat on it now for it to really be something you can recommend people get into. End of a season of it would be a Magic Find or Gold Find Barb. That specifically is fine, but nothing else. I understand that. What about your own podcast? Start your own thing. Maybe from there you would get bought out and get a nice contract. I'm not a good podcast host. I've been on a few podcasts, but I've never, I don't think I could total biscuit it. I have trouble steering people, because usually in groups like that, I either end up having to talk for everybody or end up not talking at all while they kind of go through their thing. Because there was once a 3-hour podcast that I was on. I said maybe 7 words. Because it was with a bunch of people who were they were chargers, basically. They would talk over each other, and I don't fight with that. If people are going to talk over each other, they can just do their own thing. I'll go do my own thing in the corner. PoE loses you whenever you realize you need a degree in it. And third-party programs to make a eligible build. The, not skill tree. The stat tree drives me nuts in it. I thank you, Christopher. I appreciate it. Maybe we should start the Action RPG podcast. Fun little story about that one. No, I'm not gonna tell that story. I'm straight, for those of you that are wondering, but I do have a story that's somewhat related to that. So, but the like stat web thing that you do to get like your stats up drives me nuts in Path of Exile. So it's one of those things that's kind of like, skill-wise, it just reminds me of materia from Final Fantasy VII. I can mess around with that as much as I want. That's just one of those things that I am familiar with it, and it clicks pretty easily for me. So let's go ahead and see. Corpse Explosion makes things go faster, and I need that. That I will take the superior one of, because it's defense, and it can be for socket. But yeah, the actual skills, I like the idea of combining them. Last Epoch does a similar approach where you actually choose how your skill is modified, but instead of like getting little tokens to add to it. I didn't mean to grab that, but it's on the ground now. Just convoluted at every corner. Yes, that is a very good way of describing it. I would still put it on my like most influential action RPGs list, but I wouldn't put it on, oh, so you're new to action RPGs, pick this up. No. Don't get me wrong. Have I considered doing audiobooks? Yes. And I'm working on a project for that. I don't want to reveal it right now. Because I'm not sure I'm actually going to do it. We'll see. But yes, I have considered doing audiobooks. Unfortunately, if you want to get into that, you have to start with basically public domain books and stuff like that, which isn't going to get you a lot of traction, but does get you experience. Project Gutenberg for the win! Okay. So, we need to murder ourselves some bat guys. Like, they look like bats, not actual bats. See? They died. I'll pick up the Flawless Sapphire. So, do we think we'll kill Diablo relatively quickly? Boop. There you go, Diablo. Enjoy! Got him. Perfect way to explain Path of Exile. I've played the game a few times already, told your friends they were using back to it, and they sent me like 3 separate spreadsheets to study. Yeah. Do Lovecraft stories? I don't know if Lovecraft is public domain yet. I know Kafka is. Just think if we had the PvP arena like we were supposed to have, you could announce and stuff. Could be Duncan Fisher. No. There's already someone on YouTube who is Duncan Fisher. But let's go ahead and drop that in there. There, and you go in there. Yeah, most of this stuff we're just sorting out. It's fine. I have a way of ordering these things. You made a Grief and a Berserker Axe last week, and you rolled perfect. It's going to do a lot of damage. It's going to be a pain in the ass to repair. Lovecraft was from the 19 teens. But it depends on when he published it. I can check real quick. There's also issues with doing Lovecraft online. Lovecraft public domain. I can look real quick, see if he is. Note that while his short stories and novellas are confirmed public domain, most of Lovecraft's output was actually in his letters. His letters are covered by copyright from the first time of publication, so letters first published today will be under copyright for the next 95 years, so his letters would not be copyrighted. I mean, his letters would be copyrighted. Some of his short stories and stuff would not be. Let's see, it's George Ledo. Okay. It's public, all right. There are numerous channels with his stories. From all action RPGs, skill system or lack thereof in Drox Operative is most fun. I haven't heard of that game before. Feels like playing Anno and another strategy game than a typical action RPG. I'll add that to a list to look for. I haven't heard of that one before. But yeah, I'll look at it. That's a game I haven't heard of. I am working on an action RPG video. We've almost cleared all of the key areas. And why I'm not afraid of warping here is because we have an entire freaking army protecting us. If we die, it's really bad RNG. Come on, apply. There we go. Corpse explosion. Just when in doubt, explode them out. Let's see, we have little mages. I got myself caught in a rock there, sorry. So full rejuve. Okay, so yeah, we're full on full rejuves. I'm just gathering extras now. So we can start filling up this other little bit over here. Get that back up to full. Should I actually corpse explode? Yeah, sure. Gilded shield we need to pick up. Long battle bow we do not. And I don't actually want to be over magic find on this, like too high of magic find. Because, yeah. I still want to get some white items. So Drox Operative. So I'm guessing from the name that Drox Operative is a sci-fi game, not a fantasy game. Just from hunches. And I play pretty much every genre, so you don't have to worry about crossing genres with me with game discussion. I think the only thing I don't regularly play is hidden object games. So I am open to playing most things. I'm not going to bother with Crystalline Passage. We can do it on this character. It's not hard. But I'm just trying to clear out the map. Oh no, they're so scary. Get them. How calculates the damage on your skeletons? Oh, there's a lot of factors. Are you just looking for like your base damage with auras? Because it's calculated the same way that damage is calculated with... Let's go ahead and just blow these guys up. But it's calculated the same way your damage is calculated. It goes through the same formula and everything. But there are different factors that make their base damage. Like right now, their base damage is 667 to 671. They're getting several hundreds of % boost up. I think if I remember correctly, they're doing about 2,000 something damage. Only skill without aura. It calculates it in here. Unless you're talking about skeleton mages, in which case it doesn't show it. That uses the missile system, which there's a chart on Amazon Basin for them under the skeleton mage skill that tells you the exact damage that they do. But yeah, they have the formulas over there for determining the base. Generally speaking, if you're going for maximum damage, you max out your actual summon skill, this one right here, first, for raised skeleton, not for skeleton magi. Skeleton mages are... Summon skeleton mage actually progresses you slower. But raised skeleton, you actually get more damage by going with this. I mean, you do more damage by doing raised skeleton mage because you get more of them. But... do I not have any courses near? There we go. Kind of like stumbled over my own words there. But basically, you get more damage out of skeletal mages by having more of them, of course. But as far as this actual attack damage, you actually get more attack damage from mastery for your mages. This gives you flat. This gives you % damage boost. So, yeah, it's not really complicated. Just the formula's on Amazon Basin. I can't quote it off the top of my head. I just have a general idea of how it works at the given moment. I don't usually trust people who think they have all the formulas memorized on the top of their head. So You wonder what will happen to Amazon Basin after the PTR releases. Well, after 2.4 releases. A lot of the mechanics are staying the same, but they do have... It'll take someone going through the wiki and actually adjusting for D2R, but they actually do have it differentiated between the two. They just haven't really... There hasn't been a lot of people updating it. Mostly because the communities around the game are drastically different now than they were back then. Because now we have Reddit, we have kind of like just centralized sources, but still, it's like people... Less permanent sources is probably the better way to put that. Because Reddit, you'll scroll down. You have things like Discord where things are just lost in there forever. Unless you know what to search for and in what Reddit. I mean, not in what Reddit, what Discord. But it's fine. And I am murdering all of the crazy little things just by being chill. Yeah. Anyway. Hopefully, I'll be able to keep up with the changes and just have them on the channel for people to kind of peruse and use. But I can't promise I can keep up with everything or all the changes. It's an unfortunate reality of I am but one person and I do not have people to write scripts or builds or anything for me. Every build you see on my channel is something I have written myself. So, and there is not a single perfect creator. There are things that Llama doesn't know and that Llama gets wrong. There are things that Dobrunsky doesn't know and that Dobrunsky gets wrong. Same for Cooley, same for, trying to remember some of the other ones, Ginger Gaming Snob. Heck, even RTB back in the day got some things wrong, but he was very open to being corrected as well. If any creator wants to become the new RTB, that would actually be an awesome thing, but I don't think most people even know who he is nowadays. You have really budget gear on your Necro, only a Hodo and Homunculus and a lot of skillers. You can roll P1 easy with your plus skills on Summon is 20. Summoner can do Player's 8 pretty easily. I would probably want to lean a little bit, wait until I get an Enigma to do Player's 8 with Necromancer. That way I have more teleport options. Because positioning, especially as you get into higher player counts, like right here, we don't have to worry about positioning. We can kill them fast enough without it. But whenever you get into Player's 8, focusing that fire becomes a lot more important. But as it stands, we don't really have too much to worry about. So, whoop. See, like on Player's 8, you'd actually be doing something like this to get those like first kills, and you'd be corpse exploding on them to actually get the rest of it. Because you do need that damage bump. But Hodo's not really that budget of gear. So, I would consider that upper mid as far as like your resources go. I mean, you need the plus skills and the actual stuff like that, but you just need your summons for Player's 8. It'll just take longer. There is no real reason to do Player's 8 unless you are specifically going for like level 99. Generally speaking, there is not a reason to go level 99. Mid 90s is good enough. You just farmed your Hodo 3 days ago? Awesome. But yeah, this makes Player's 8 so much easier because you have more control. It's not a matter of not having power, because your skeletons are tough enough to handle Player's 8. It's just... they wouldn't be fast. So let's go ahead and get everybody here. And I will go after him first. Okay, so we got one of them. And yeah, they are both amp damaged. I want them to focus in on him. And now we focus in on you. Ouch. There you go. He whacked me hard. Poison trophy requires hardcore character level 99. Oh, there's a PlayStation trophy for it. Then yeah, Player's 8 for that would be a thing. Necromancer would be the safest one to do that with. Just Summoner and just go to places you know you could do. Like Act 5 stuff is pretty straightforward with it. I'm not sure I would actually want to do that trophy. That's one of those trophies that I'm like, it's not worth the trouble for the whatevers. I don't think I'd even do it on Steam or anything. Players 8 rune farming. Nope, actually players 7. If you are looking to maximize drops, players 7. If you're looking for the most efficient player count, usually it's players 5 for just farming from just random enemies. Players 7, if you're doing like lower cuirass or something like that, is the same as players 8. Your Hammerden cannot finish Hell Izzy because the cheap-ass Gloams keep camping the staircase. Oh, no. Yeah. You could bait them and smite. That's about the only thing I can think of, Spartan. That's usually how I try to... I usually don't do Hammerdeds because I don't like them that much. But, yeah, that's one of the tricks is drag like 2 of them through the door and smite it down. And then drag 2 more through the door, smite it down. And then work your way back slowly. You go with Telestaff and it's okayish, but you never see a Jaw or Bear in 3 months of gaming. Ouch. For Jaw and Bear, I would say Chaos Sanctuary or Cows would be your best places to go. I would not bother with most of the other level 85 areas because you're not going to get near as much out of it. And yes, there was absolutely zero reason for me doing the Ancients there. It was just I wanted to record killing the Ancients. I know, it's stupid. But let's see. Do we code kill Bale? Sure. Okay, if we have Gloams here, I'm teleporting past them because I don't feel like dealing with them. I mean, I could just do... I don't even know. Okay, so we have zombies, we have skeletons. We have really bad poison on us. Get them, boys, get them. Sick them. And I'm not even using, like, battle orders or anything like that. I'm being super lazy. Oh, and we actually got a good path on here. We don't even have to worry about Gloams if we come through here. Trillion cows and demons. The RNG hates you still. I am sorry. RNG is like that sometimes. You can go through dry spells or you can find like 3 Zods in a week. It's very, very frustrating. That's one of the big downsides of this type of game is it is so RNG dependent. You can have terrible luck and not find anything you need. It's one reason why like 100% speedrun where like a Holy Grail speedrun or something like that wouldn't ever work. Because there's no consistency to it. But, I mean, I suppose you could. Whenever your speedrun is measured in like months, if not years, if you're really unlucky. I need to actually be picking these up. Oh yeah, it feels really good when the luck changes. Finding that first Zod or finding the, like, freaking Jaw you were waiting for. The Jaw rule. Corpse explosions, go! Mainly because I don't want to deal with those guys. They are a pain in the ass. And these guys actually are a little bit frustrating because just how durable they are. Okay. You think Inferno's done a Holy Grail speedrun? Feels like something he'd do. Yeah. I mean, there's a few people. Hey, there's another Nash's if we wanted it. Watch us get the full, like, Nash set while doing this. All we're missing is one part. Oh yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and drop those off. After scoring 1 Stone of Jordan and 1 Skin of Viper Magic off Bandai, RNG decided you've expended your life's worth of luck. I don't care if you have a 422% Magic Find. No more good drops. Oh, Magic Find is overrated, by the way. I know people are going to like rah-rah at me for that, but Magic Find is 100% overrated. So, because there's so many things that you do without Magic Find or that are uninfluenced by Magic Find that it's not always worth it. Only if you're trying to get your core items like certain things that we've gotten. Sure. I can see a use for that. Maybe someday you find my Enigma on BattleNet. You're going to be patient until then. I like to play Necro because it's so funny. Wish you have a good night, Stewie. Stewo. Why did I call you Stewie? But yeah. Stewo! But yeah, even without Enigma, teleport staff can actually carry you a decent distance. You just wouldn't want to be like super happy teleporting all the time, because it involves weapon swaps and all that kind of fun stuff. And I wouldn't say Magic Find is a scam. It's just way overrated. Oh, there's a spot up here. Sweet. That was in range of him. Oh, okay, he's stone skin, that's why. So he's actually physical immune and fire immune. That's why it was doing 0 damage. We don't want that. Oh, it's a large charm. Why is it always the large charms? Those are only good for stats, and I don't need stats. Yeah, 150 to 200. I usually do 150 to 250 is my usual goal, because I'll sometimes lean lower than that, usually like in the 50 to 100 range if I'm looking for bases. But other than that, yeah, 150 to 250 is kind of like the sweet spot where you're not usually costing yourself any speed whatsoever, and you're still doing enough to get the items that you need, because diminishing returns on it are massive. Set runs are fun. Can I beat the game using each set? Yes, you can, especially with the upgrading set things, and that's actually something I plan on doing, Jim. That's a series I've been slowly working out. I was going to do it before 2.4, but with 2.4 releasing, I'm 100% wanting to do a set build series where I build a build around a set with the rule that I have to use the entire set the entire time. So I can't like weapon swap if I have to use the weapon to use battle orders or something like that. I have to actually be active and... I'm stuck in here. No, no, let me out. No trapping, Alzorath. Thank you. But yeah, right now, Source Speedrun takes 1,000 of the resets to get the Fallen pack in the right place, and Catacombs level 2 for farming XP, so not drop RNG, but still RNG. Catacombs level 2. You did Saigons and Cathans? Well, I was thinking, like, do all of them, like Sazabi and everything. Kicks in with upset boots would be fun. Yeah, generally speaking, and this is something I probably should have been more clear on the set video, by the way. For the Saigon's boots, I recommend upgrading them if you're doing a kicks in to exceptional. I just happened to show off the elite versions because I upgraded them all the way to elite to see what they would be like. If you're upgrading to elite, you generally would want to do IK boots if possible. But Myrmidon Greaves are the best kicking. Obviously, the best one is still going to be the... Oh, God. The Crushing Blow ones, Gore Riders. Grim Dawn is a great game. I need to actually finish our run on there with the Soldier and move on to the next one. I've just been exhausted lately for reasons. And just haven't had the energy to do it. Can you stop shooting my guys? Thank you. Spread out, my little friends. Amplify damage. Yeah, going through Act 5, not too hard. You would like Sazabi's, but you never found the sword? Back in the day, I found the sword just randomly, and that was like my zealot weapon for ages. This is before rune words like grief and things existed, and it was a fun weapon. Actually, I just like my dawns dark and grim. Oh, goodness. Let's go murder Bale. This one's going to take a little bit longer. See? Oh, no. He's at half life. Whatever will I do? If he doesn't teleport, yeah, he just gets eaten. If he doesn't move. Ah, poor Bale. You found the Sazabi sword right when the stream started? Congratulations, Alexander. Sazabi set should be all red. Give summon ravens and let you have 3 times faster reflect to Char's Sazabi. I'm trying to think what that... For some reason, that reference is flying past me right now. Personally, I think Sazabi's should be all ethereal, because Sazabi's Ghost Liberator is literally the name of the armor. But why is Sazabi... it's probably a reference I know, but that is escaping my paltry brain at the moment. I'm old. My memory sucks. Deal with it. You read Zoomancer and thought Harmony Bow Merc for Vigor? I mean, that can be an early answer to getting around with your army, but it's not really as necessary anymore because they fixed them disappearing quite as much. It's a mobile suit from a Gundam movie. Ah, okay, Gundam. Okay, I know a little bit about Gundam things. There's actually a Gundam game that's on my short list to review on the Game Shop channel. It's a really obscure PlayStation 2 one, though. So, hi, Potato. You want to be a zoo manager? Well, give them vigor and give them weapons. Give your monkeys weapons. Don't give the monkeys weapons. It's a bad idea, trust me. Oh no, the monkey has a rapier. Whatever will we do? It's the end of the world. Hey, Broadaxe. Don't need it. There's also Zoo Tycoon, if I remember correctly. We could actually switch to that at like the end of the stream or something. I don't know if I even have it on... I think it's on Steam. And oh, it's a freaking set ring. Bite me, game. You must admit D2R looks beautiful. Too bad you're only interested in modded D2. Wasted way too much life in vanilla. Understandable. There's limited, and I have to emphasize limited modding on D2R. There are things that you can change, but it's basically stuff that you were able to change with the MPQs before. Code changes are a little bit less accessible. And I sort of understand why on that, but at the same time, it does limit the types of mods that you can do. But MPQ is like, you can change the sprites, you can change models and stuff like that. You can change the power of certain things, but there's some functionality things that require code editing. So... Yes. Do I need... Oh yeah, I need my tome to actually summon up more cows. So we've spent about 2 hours just kind of putzing around on this guy. I've gotten a decent amount of footage for him. Is there anywhere you want me to visit, is the question. That we have not seen. Because I think we've seen... We haven't seen it the level 85 areas, but... That's not the worst thing ever. We're still not full, so I can go for a while longer. Talking stuff like Path of Diablo, more like an overall. Okay, yeah. Path of Diablo, Median XL, Project Diablo 2. I know where you're going. Private servers would be a nice thing too. But I have a feeling that there's a couple cracks out there that people are actually using to do modded stuff, but it's just not publicly available because Blizzard would probably shut them down. And hi, Hugin and Mugen. How's the Ravens going? Hopefully well. And it's Sunday. Oh, so yeah, they are. I just got random messages. What random message is that? Yep. Okay. It was a random message I don't care about. Monday for you. Well, yeah. It's several hours from Monday for me. It's actually almost food time, and I'm getting kind of hungry, but other than that, pretty good. Pretty good, Michael, by the way. How's it going for you? You're probably hearing my message like 10 seconds later. So, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I want that. But hopefully everyone is doing well. Do we need to do the teleport demonstration again? I needed to do it in Act 4, actually, probably. Because the example that people are using, including Llama, is the whole, like, hey, guess what? We are now doing it with the Venom Lords. Venom Lords are a bad example character to actually show stuff off on because, well, they're one of the tankiest things in the game. You'd love to see arrows and bolt flight speed increased, but I like being able to outrun the arrows. I have a whole video on that. But yeah. Yeah. What's the simple D2R question? I'm afraid to ask. But yeah, questions are welcome. If they weren't, I wouldn't put it in the title. But yeah. I try to be new player friendly rather than old player pandering. So you watch the video. That's just gonna make me have to get more run walk just to outrun them even further. What's better on a frenzy barb, treachery or fortitude, assuming you can make up the sum of the increased attack speed? Assuming you can make up the increased attack speed. Ooh, that's actually a tough decision. For general use. And we're assuming you have good weapons, or do you are you hurting on weapons? Because I think the decision for me there would be what weapon I'm using. If I'm using, like, Grief, I would probably go Fortitude. If I'm using something kind of mediocre where I'm not going to be, like, one-shotting things with the extra damage, I might swap over to Treachery. Grief plus Death? And you have the attack speed. If you have the attack speed covered, I would probably... That is a tough one. I think I'm going to split the answer. I'm going to say for Ubers, I would go Treachery. For general play, I would go Fortitude. If that makes sense. You're also a bit at a crossroads with your Zoomancer. Should you use a full Trang set or swap to a +2 Necro Circlet and Homunculus instead? I'd go for the... Unless you are running a poison variant of a summoner, I would go for the swap with the Necro Circlet and Homunculus head. But yeah, that Fortitude versus whatchamacallit? Treachery is a tough one because against like the Ubers and stuff like that, yeah, you actually want the Treachery. For versus just normal stuff, you don't need that extra bit of durability because you can make up for it by using just 1 point in Warcry, or by using Battle Cry, or by just having a Holy Freeze Mercenary to slow shit down for you. But yeah, I would probably, yeah, that's probably how I would split it. I know some people would probably choose differently from me, and that's fine. It's just my personal preference. Use Fortitude on your barb with Breath of the Dying and Death. I can understand that. I generally don't use my Breath of the Dyings on my barbarians. That might be something to explore. I mean, Grief is still just so ungodly overpowered that not using it is just a waste. But you have to realize on the barbarian also that Fortitude is not adding as much damage as you would think. Yeah, it's a 300% boost, but you're basically increasing your damage by like a quarter of what your listed damage is, because your listed damage is all of your mastery, your skill bumps, all that stuff. Okay, need more of those. Those are the kind of rares I'm looking for, by the way. Belts, gloves, circlets, all that kind of stuff. For Fate alone, you can proc it before and switch to Fortitude and keep it in queue. Yeah, you can do that too. I mean, it's not bad. It just, I don't like having to swap stuff a whole lot, so I usually just grab into it and go. Use Enigma with Heart of the Oak on Switch. Teleport around like a crazy person. That's actually, Enigma is one of the reasons why. Like, if Enigma wasn't a thing, I don't think I would make not teleporting part of the validation process for builds, if that makes sense. Because as it stands, I have like a requirement whenever I give a build like the pass, because there's like specialty builds and then there's just general builds. For a build to get a general build, it has to be able to do the game without teleport in a specific amount of time. And that amount of time, it's the reason I don't list it is because it's variable depending on what kind of class it is. Like, I'll make it longer for melee builds than I will for, say, like a caster build. Yeah, barbarians have the same faster cast rate as the sorceress, for those of you that are curious. So, and I almost missed some feral claws there. I am full though, so I need to throw that in there and check it. But yeah, the barbarian has the same cast frames as the sorceress. So that goes there. And yep, see all of our unidentified rare crap and charms and stuff? Those are going to be used later. I was kind of hoping to fill up. Wake of Inferno. Fine. I don't like it, but it might be useful for something later if they tweak that more. You also tried using Demon Limb for a chance on your Amazons a bit, and oh boy, repairing those charges can get expensive. Yeah, use Ort to repair, like Russ said. That can actually be a good thing. Personally, I don't bother pre-buffing whenever I'm playing through the game like normal. If I'm trying to do like Players 8 challenges or something like that, yeah, pre-buffs can become useful. But for Players 1, Players 3, you don't need to pre-buff 99% of the time. Players 5 and 7, depending on what you're doing, you might want to. If it's within the rules of a PvP thing, you definitely want to. There's so many ifs and buts, but if I can avoid doing pre-buffing, like if I can use Lava Gout instead of Laying of Hands for a build and it doesn't greatly impact my speed, I'm going to do it because it just gives me that enchant for dealing with the like weird random stuff. It's just one of those things. So let's see. I think we actually want to go to Lost City, not Dry Hills, but because I was thinking about maybe doing the side dungeon here. Between Luco Lane and here, because there's a... Go to Luco Lane, we should actually have it show on the map. Because there is a trash dungeon in here as well.
I can't do that here.
And I forget, did they make this a level 85 dungeon? I forget. We're going to find it regardless. Oh no, we're randomly killing stuff with mages while teleporting through. Whatever will we do? Besides just get free experience. I just love seeing the little volleys come off of me and just be like, nope, you're dead now. You hate rebuffs and having to switch around gear and charms? Yeah, I flat out just won't do the charm swaps. I mean, there's no situation where that's like worth it for me. Hi, underground. Let's go here first. But yeah, more level 85 areas is a good thing, since it lets people farm with characters they otherwise wouldn't be able to farm with as well. So these may be less efficient farming areas, but still. Have a good one, Mocha. Good night, sleep well. Off to Ned. I saw that. I'm just going to say Oakley Dokley and have a good night. I actually said that before you deleted it, so... Rebuffs just makes you think that the meme scene from Overlord where the main character spends like 2 minutes buffing himself for a fight. Yeah, I can see that. It's like... I can understand why it's there, but it's like it's not necessary 90% of the time, my dudes. And we're back to full potions on that. Hey, come on. There we go. Let's see. Down to level 2. It's been forever since I've been in this dungeon. I actually have forgotten how it's laid out. How am I playing? The PTR has ended. I set it up so that my game wouldn't auto-update, and then I blocked it from accessing the firewall. Like, I blocked it from accessing the internet via firewall. So, single player 2.4 is constantly here. And technically, I could keep it here for a month, and then it would be like, hey, you haven't checked in recently. We're gonna lock you out of this. Well, we can make another edge if we want to. I'm gonna save that just because I like making edge. Yes, I already have edge bows. Actually, that can just go in there. I don't need it right away. We're almost... Oh, that's not something I want in there. I'll identify that so you guys can see what it is. It's Grave Palm? No, Grave Palm's the chain one. This is Dracul's Grasp. Derp. Yeah, it's the life tap ones. This is what you want for doing Ubers, by the way, for the Barbarian. In your opinion, what is the best mercenary weapon for this build? Infinity. Yeah, this is players 1. There's not really much reason for me to do higher player counts. We could do players 3 or 5 if I was like being serious about trying to farm for runes, but I'm more serious about just chatting and answering questions right now. But this build can do players 8. It's not really worth it, but highest I've really done consistently with it would be players 5. Mainly because that's just the nice sweet spot of just getting the drops that I want. But usually I'll save that for whenever I'm farming off camera, just because I don't want to accidentally do something stupid like teleport into a crowd while chatting and die. And we've already done that once. Main use for Fade is overstacking resistances for Ubers and physical damage reduction. Don't forget the physical damage reduction. That's a 15% chunk there. But, yeah. Usually I'll just equip and just go. I'm hovering inside of a frickin' pot. Oh, and urns, by the way, are a sorceress's best friend. Use telekinesis on them, and you will be very, very happy. And yes, before we open these, we're going to do... Da-da-da. I mean, we could put it on player 7 and be the same effect. Ta-da! There we go. It popped okay. And one funny thing, and I think it would throw off like any statistics that I do. Oh no, it's not a set one. Is that these actually, they'll roll one type. Like, they can roll magic rare, set, or unique. And the unique ones, like if it rolls unique and you see a bunch of rares pop out, if they're triple durability, you just got kind of screwed by RNG because you got all items that don't have unique equivalents that can drop from that chest. You can get all set and have them pop all magic and that's, that happened because they'll be double durability because it didn't roll actual set items to turn into set. But it's unaffected by Magic Find. It just randomly chooses one of them. And it's like, I'm going to be that today. Oh, whenever you do Treachery Cube juggling, yeah. But yeah, it's only time that I really bother with worrying too much about that is like Ubers and stuff. And even then, I did all my Uber farming with just made a bog standard smiter, went in, did it, got it done, and it was like, we're done. It's fine. I just love teleporting around and just nuking these things. It's probably very confusing to watch. I know where I'm going because I know where my mouse is, but I just love shooting the little volleys of like all 16 skeleton mages on one thing. The Magi Assault. You can see things are dying just randomly. Crystal Sword. It's 3 again. We'll save another 3-1. So, does anyone have any favorite things they'd like to see in 2.4 in the future? Like, as far as builds they'd like to see me try? I'm not going to try them today, but I will add them to the list. Because there is a list of ones that I want to cover. I want to do the Tiger Strike Dragon Tail. I want to do... I'm doing a video on this. It's not exactly the summoner build. It's based on summoning. But, yeah, I want to try out a few other builds before 2.4 officially releases. I mean, I've tried a few of them out off screen, but recording-wise. So let's see. Not Far Oasis. Although we could do the tunnels. Don't really want to. Wow, this is a good map. Okay, thank you, game. We'll just let them murder them. The smooth style. But yeah, the Necromancer is actually a really good farmer. I would say probably the most efficient one once you get all the stuff up is going to be the Lazy Bones build that we have on the channel. With the Poison Nova, lower resist, and just skeletons. There's nothing that can stop you. You just murder everything. Because your boss answer is literally just throw all your guys on them and drop poison and curses. You don't have to worry about anything. And your poison with Death's Web is just insanely good. Yes, we do grab that. I was running through the list in my head. Sorry for the little bit of an there. As far as what I'm saving. The meta is not shifting, though. It's going to be Source Paladin and Javazon for the max clear speed. Everything else is just a secondary character. Yeah, the meta is not going to shift for a few patches, and I think... I'm debating whether it's actually worth putting my speculation on that, but I've stated it a few times. Tunnels have not been good to you. You got a random Talzami from a pot, and that's it. Yeah. See, this level 85 areas are not necessary. Most people they're hyped up because of Holy Grail challenges. The only things that you'll get here that are like super exclusive to level 85 areas or from certain bosses are things like Arachnid's Mesh. It's one of the few useful things you'll get from this. Pretty much everything else has like a superior rune word option or a at least decent alternative shopping option. It's like you can farm level 81 areas and get the same rune drops. You can get most of the bases in level 81 areas. There's a couple you can't, but it's just like, it's not worth it. Yeah, we are on players one. I was like, I forgot to swap it, didn't I? I did. And yes, I am walking instead of teleporting. This is me being lazy. Like it says in the title, laid back, relaxing. Actually, what did I actually title it? Chill. There we go. Since we're not carrying too much. I have a face for radio too. That is definitely true. I I'm trying to think of how they phrase it. I have a voice for literature and a face for radio. Been looking at some old builds. Nightfish used Tiger Strike and Ribcracker or another two-hander that shouldn't perform too badly since you can get 14-40% ED every second attack. There are better options now. But yeah. I think I remember which build you're talking about. My brain is going over some of the old builds. There used to be a thing. This was before a lot of the rune words got really kind of out of whack, where people were calculating what can do the max damage, and for a while there it was the assassin with Tiger Strike with a certain setup. I can't remember exactly what it was. That's gonna go in that one because that's our overflow. Same for that. I can sort this a little bit better. Just trying not to put things in sockets accidentally. There we go. We're pretty good there. What is my favorite build overall to play? I like playing around with a lot of different builds, but usually if I'm really looking to relax, I'm playing Poison Summoner. Basically max Poison Nova with skeletons to support and 1-point golems with an Insight Mercenary just for mana reasons. Because I don't really care about having him max damage. I can shut down most poison immunes that I'd be farming with. But as far as that's for late game stuff. For just playing through from beginning to end, I'd probably actually say Paladin. Although Assassin is looking a lot more promising for that.
Welcome back,
with the changes. So, as far as just like playing through the game, they should add curses to the summon synergies. I'm on the fence about that. I agree in principle. I actually really do agree on principle that these should be synergies for these. And that's one reason why the thought of lower resist even having a resist piercing synergy with the magi or mages, whatever you want to call them, would be a thing. I kind of wish you could issue orders or formations to your summons, really have summon Mancers in Diablo to turn into an RTS. I would settle for even something like, Titan Quest summon controls, where it's literally just attack, passive, like, it's like 3 commands you can give them, and they just roughly behave in that certain manner. Let's go Black Marsh next, I guess. But it's just, yeah. I wouldn't mind having extra controls, but yeah, back on the synergies thing. I would actually like to see synergies, or even like % chance to cast maybe being a thing on some of them. Either that or just give all curses available as they are only 1-point wonders anyway. They're doing some stuff with... There's some of these that could be like insular. Like Iron Maiden is its own thing. It doesn't need any kind of synergies, although I wouldn't mind having some synergies in it. Like have Iron Maiden get a % damage piercing from amplify damage. Like say, for every point in amplify damage, you give Iron Maiden like minus 2% physical resistance for anyone that's on. It would make it weaker than Decrepify or amplify damage, but would make Iron Maiden things into kind of like what the Thorns and amp damage characters were. Could even bump it to 3% now that I think about it, but that would make it stronger than Decrepify. You could have amp damage just be its own. That would give you reason to synergize into that. Iron Maiden could possibly give a synergy over to Iron Golem. Life Tap could possibly have a passive life leech effect on your minions. There's a lot of things they could do that would be minor changes that would incentivize it but not make it broken. I wonder if it would be worth stacking Edge, Bramble, and Iron Maiden. Nah, you're better off with Edge, Bramble, and amp damage. And in 2.4, that changes a bit. because it becomes a flat damage rather than a percent. But yeah, I could see them interlinking a bunch of stuff. Dim Vision, Confuse, and Attract, I'm a little bit less sure about how I would synergize them. Weaken's already getting its own little thing where you can see it right there. Enemy damage reduced by 51%. It gains a percent per level. So it can actually get up to fairly decent, but it's done as part of the percent stack. So extra strong just kind of like ignores it. Whereas and anything with auras ignores it. But these guys would be like nerfed by a ton of damage. Terror, I just don't like. I don't like making things run away. It's a skill I don't appreciate. There are uses for it, but can't be arsed. Gonna be honest. Lower resist, we said, could have the piercing thing. Decrepify, I don't think needs any to be synergized with anything. I think Decrepify is fine as is. I think it is a good standalone skill. The thing is, it doesn't have any reason to invest more in it, because all that does is increase the duration. So it's kind of like, But as it stands, I can't think of a way to actually make that more valuable, unless you made it have a synergy, like say with Amplify damage, make this be able to go to like an extra 1% per level, so this could become 120% to match the Barbarian change, maybe. Does Confuse work like Assassin's Mind Blast? No. Assassin's Mind Blast is Conversion, which is a Paladin skill. It functions like that. Confuse is strange. There's a lot of caveats to it, Confuse, and I'm surprised more people don't raise a fuss over it, but that's also probably because most people don't use it enough for it to be an issue, because it affects your XP income and everything, so it's one of those things that's kind of like, strangeness. But no, Confuse basically makes the enemies think everyone is an enemy. So when they're confused, they can attack you, they can attack the enemy that's next to them, they can attack anything. So it's just one of those things. And we have found several Clegla's swords. It's telling me something, isn't it? I don't care what it's telling me. I don't listen to it. But yeah, we don't have Confuse on this character right now. Do I have that? Nope, I don't have that other head on me. Because my other head actually has Confuse on it. And this is the wrong way. Should be going this way. Although this is probably going to be a dead end. Unless it... Nope, it turned into that. Okay. Because that can just turn into a dead end hallway. So we want to go up again. Do I even really need to amp damage them? Not really. Kind of sad that we're finding so few charms and stuff. Usually I find several whenever I do just a casual sweep. What I would like, and this will never freaking happen, would be for there to be things in each of the red portals in Act 5. Like have the Abaddon one take you to one set of locations, have the... Let's go ahead and get through this before I try to explain it. Because we can actually go into those red ones. So I'm going to speed up going through here just a little bit. There they are. Amplify damage, corpse explosions. Oh, an Ort rune, amazing. Woo! Yay! No, I don't need that. You found... Okay, let's see. Hope they add something in-game. Okay, found a 350% ignore target claw for assassin. Trying to find a good build. I guess you need to make a whirlwind assassin claw. Chaos is fun. You could possibly be looking into making getting a ton of density in one of the portals who had flares in it. Generally speaking, the density is decent, but getting to them doesn't... You don't get enough density to justify it. Ignore target defense doesn't work on pack leaders, and it doesn't work on champions, uniques, or bosses, but it still works on other things fairly well. Okay. But you're getting a ton of... Okay. Eyes and Hearts and Bone Snap farming in Nightmare in Hell would have been nice if the game actually dropped low-level stuff in low-level areas for low-level characters. It does drop low-level stuff for low-level characters. It just doesn't drop it commonly. Whenever you're in hell and stuff difficulty, you have solutions. So, but let's go ahead. Frigid Highlands. I don't know where it's going to be in here. It's going to be in the middle of the path. So we'll just teleport along it. Hopefully we don't have any too bad things. Let's see if this is a vertical or a horizontal. It is a horizontal, so we want to be about here and just go across. And look for the red portal on the map. There it is. So like Abaddon. This one could have something in here at the end that goes to... And also density, by the way, is boss density as well. Do you think they'll remove that? The minus 50% damage for Whirlwind. That... Not in 2.4 they will. Maybe eventually they will. I would rather see them leave it on there and revert it to the... a faster base speed for the strikes with it. Something more akin to what it used to be whenever D2 first launched. But what I would like to see them do is in each of these red portals, you have to go through this kind of area and grab like whatever you find here. And then whenever you get over to like the end area, which I think is... Yeah, it's down here. But whenever you get down to the end area, I wish they would actually have like a tome or something like that, like what you find in Arcane Sanctuary next to the Summoner, and have it just basically take you to what would essentially be maps. So you have to find these each time, but it's not like completely out of the way kind of situation. Like, you know, you're always going to get a map by coming here, and have each one take you to a different kind of like subset of area. Like, have one take you to another River of Flame. Have one take you to, say, a... And no, I'm not going to pick up those claws. I would pick up Exceptional or Elite. But, like, instead of just a chest here, like, ooh, woo, we got a chest. Have one of those tomes, like, parked just, like, right here. And have it open a red portal and take you to... another dungeon level, and then just keep having you go down further and further into dungeon levels. It would stop people from having to mass create games. You could have 5 to 10 uniques on each floor, and you could have it things get denser and more aggressive and more dangerous as you go further down if you really wanted. Kind of like the infinite dungeon in Lufia 2. Anyway, the day you finally get Rixx's Keen to drop, you'll send an email to the dev saying, wow, this is Rixx's Keen, sure is useful. If I was still level 3. Fun fact. You actually do have a better chance of getting Rixx's Keen in normal than in any other difficulty. It's just by the time you get to where it can drop, you're... I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. Anyway, by the time you get to where you can get it to drop, you don't have the magic find to really push for it to drop until you're higher level. You think Torchlight was like that? Did Torchlight have an endless dungeon? Or was it Torchlight 2 that had it? It's been forever since I played Torchlight 1. So my memory is foggy on it. Why not just take Path of Exile's map system, specifically early Path of Exile when it was less convoluted? Maybe. But personally, this would fit the feel of the game a little bit better. To have it like in the world. Like, you just had a red portal, now you have another red portal to further in. You could maybe have a limit on the number of floors in it. You could have one lead to, say, an Act 1 cave, one lead to Act 4. I think there's 3 red portals. Because it's here, Frigid Highlands, and, it's Frigid Highlands, Ariat Plateau, and Frozen Tundra. So there's 3 of them. You think Torchlight 2? Yeah. And when it comes to assassin skills you dislike, it is Dragon Tail. It's okay on single players, but it seems like group knockback causes huge desync problems for you. Desync is still a serious issue online. It's actually still an issue in single player, because this game functions on that same principle of you are hosting a local server and you're connecting to the local server. But anyway, we've been going for 2.5 hours. I have cleared most of the places I actually wanted to look at on this guy. If you guys have any build requests, you can comment on this video. You can mention it on like other videos if you want to see 2.4 builds. I will probably be having a video on this character tomorrow, sort of. It's not on this character, it's on summons in general. But yeah, hopefully you all had a nice time on the stream, and I will see you guys next time. May you find everything you're looking for. So keep gaming, have fun, peace out. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.